The Astros defeat the LA Angels 2 out of 3 times, a team coming in who was ahead of them in the standings by a decent amount. But the Astros were able to gain on them, make the standings a little bit interesting. And with this series win, they're only just one game under 500. It's kind of crazy to me to think that the Astros, as much of an atrocious of a start they went on to last year, it took them until June to even be at 500. And they have a very good chance at getting to 500 on this upcoming road trip. But first things first, we're going to talk about the series against the Angels coming up. Well, man, the Astros have certainly gotten back on track as of late, and this series win against the Angels certainly had proved that. But let's talk about the series. But first things first, let's dive right into an injury/rehab update on Lance McCullers Jr. He made one step closer to the Astros rotation with another rehab start for AAA Sugarland. He had 5 strikeouts across, I think, 4 shutout innings against the Albuquerque Isotopes, who is Colorado's AAA team, if I remember correctly. So overall, a very good outing for him, and hopefully he'll be able to return to the rotation this month. If not, hopefully we'll see him early next. We'll see what happens if he has another rehab start or if he'll join the rotation after this one. So far, there's no word on that as of yet, but we'll see as time goes on. So diving right into the series itself, starting with this first game, the Astros offense was alive in this game. There were so many headlines over the course of this game that you could honestly pick just about any of them that I'm about to ramble off here. The first being Yanier Diaz's grand slam, which not only was that the first Astros grand slam since September of 2023, but it was also Yanier Diaz's first grand slam of his career. But I'm more excited at the fact that this was our first grand slam we have hit, let alone at home, mind you, since September 2023. And the last person to have done that, Jose Abreu in Arlington. The second headline that you could probably pick was Cam Smith, who had also contributed with an RBI of his own. Before this, had also hit his first big league home run. Hopefully that we'll see more out of this young man. But over the course of this entire series, all 3 guys the Astros got in the Kyle Tucker trade with the Cubs had played a big role in this series win, both in this game and also in the series finale, which I'll break down more shortly. But like I said a while ago, Dana Brown had described Cam Smith as an aircraft carrier. And, to be honest, so far through these first couple of games, he hasn't really shown that much. I kind of thought maybe we'd consider sending him down. And I was certainly vouching for that after the series at Minnesota. But ever since our series in Seattle, he has really been building his confidence. Like he had I think maybe 4 RBIs over the course of the series, at least 3 in this game, and I do know for a fact he had one in Sunday's game. So that was also a cool thing to see. And given how crazy this one was, it was obviously a huge win and very good to see the Astros offense come alive late in this game. The only big negative in this game was Taylor Scott. Despite the game being virtually over at this point, like in the 8th inning, he still came in and allowed a run, albeit, of course, it was on a chopper, which, as a pitcher, there's not really much he can do about that. So kind of a tough luck run, but at the same time, he still couldn't come in and throw, still a relatively clean inning and, allow 2 hits or less. So I think personally, the way that we should be playing this is the same way that we had tried to grow confidence in Rafael Montero. So, we'll see how many appearances he gets and if he gets any better building on this. But unfortunately, the celebrations would be short-lived as Ian Anderson for the Angels, who had started, had carried a no-hitter against the Astros into, I believe, the 5th or 6th inning, which, I feel like it was just pathetic given the fact that the Astros had pounded out, I think, 16 runs on 14 hits, if I'm not mistaken. But we were only held to just 1 run on 2 hits in a loss. And now, unfortunately, this has been a recent trend for the Astros over the past couple of years, where the offense just comes out and pounds out 16 or more runs, something crazy like that, and then the offense just falls silent the next day. Given coming into this game, I had honestly saw that coming from a mile away. And given the circumstances of this game, with Spencer Arrighetti being hurt and being on the injured list for the next couple months, Ryan Gusto was making his MLB debut in this game, and he played okay. For the most part, could we use him if if we had to fill in a gaping spot in the rotation? Probably, but I would say he's probably far away from his first MLB win. Isaac Paredes was able to provide the only lone run for the Astros in this game, with a home run into the Crawford boxes, one of 3 home runs he'd hit in this series. But speaking of the third game, we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. And like I said earlier, both Paredes, Wysenski, and Cam Smith all played a big role in this win, which were all 3 guys that the Astros had gotten from the Cubs in the Tucker trade. Now, as I've said in a couple previous videos, it was no secret as to why the Astros had traded away Kyle Tucker to the Cubs last December. Because, I mean, being that it was just a couple of days after Juan Soto had signed that massive deal with the Mets, I mean, although Kyle Tucker was not going to be asking for that much money, it was clear that the amount of money or the price to retain Tucker when he hit free agency following this season was going to be more that Jim Crane and the Astros would be comfortable paying him. And rather than keeping Tucker, like I said, who is still at the early stages of a relatively great career, and losing him in free agency like they've done in years past, the Astros decided to deal with him in exchange for, a couple of good pieces. And like I said, they all played a big role in today's victory. And obviously, Kyle Tucker is off to a great start with the Cubs, being named NL Player of the Week for the week of March 31st to April 6th. But at the same time, I do think that the Astros are feeling good about what they got in return too, with Isaac Paredes having 3 home runs this series, including one today, which put the Astros up 5-2 at that point when he hit it, and that was a lead that they would not relinquish for the rest of the game. Cam Smith was the second guy who they had got. He had also contributed with an RBI today, and also, of course, in Game 1 of the series, like I said, he contributed with 3 of them, with an RBI base hit, and also on his first big league home run. And then, of course, Hayden Wysenski, the Houston native from Cypher High School, he picked up his first MLB win with the Astros by striking out a career-high 10 batters across 6 innings of work, despite the Angels hitting 3 solo home runs off of him. Isaac Paredes, like I had said, had homered into the Crawford boxes, and Cam Smith in the 3rd inning, which was also sparked by a RBI single from Cam Smith. And then, like I had said, Paredes would then hit a 3-1 shot to cap off that 5-run 3rd inning, and that put the Astros up 5-2, which was a lead that they would not relinquish for the rest of the game. Overall, like I said, this was a great series. Hopefully we can keep this up. Next up for us, we're going to be hitting the skies and headed to St. Louis. I mean, the pitching, of course, for the Cardinals is okay, but I think the hitting is probably not so bad, I guess. I mean, I feel like their hitting is worse than their pitching, if not the other way around. I'm not 100% sure on that. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please drop a like on the video. And if you want to see more, consider subscribing. And you want to watch any of my other videos, click these cards here that are above my shoulders. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, like I said. And I will see you guys in the next one.